Walt Disney Company's live-action Snow White released this year, and honestly, I saw this train wreck coming a mile away. Disney has butchered way too many of its classics with unnecessary remakes. And let's be honest, none of these originals were broken to begin with. But that's what happens when the well of creativity runs dry. Instead of birthing something new, they keep recycling what was already perfect, slapping on political agendas, and calling it modern. No. What it becomes is a watered-down mess nobody asks for. The core of Walt Disney's legacy was imagination. That was the whole foundation. People didn't go to Disney movies or theme parks to get a lecture on feminism or economic anxiety. You went for the magic, the escape. That's the point. Even when you walk through the gates at Disneyland, the whole goal is to forget your bills, your heartbreak, your job stress, the chaos in the world, for a few hours of peace, color, and wonder. Now they've taken that dreamland and dragged it into the mud of real-world debates. That is a massive miscalculation. The live-action Snow White is a perfect example of this creative failure. The entire premise falls apart. We're supposed to believe Gal Gadot is jealous of Rachel Zegler? Be serious. Gal Gadot is objectively more striking. Now, Rachel Zegler does have a decent singing voice, but she's been one of the worst spokespersons for a film I've ever seen. The interviews alone tanked interest. Gal, on the other hand, bless her, cannot sing. Her scenes were cringe on a level that made me want to watch National Geographic animal mating rituals over the music numbers. That's how bad it was. And the CGI dwarves, that was a mess. They replaced real dwarf actors with weird, unfunny CGI creatures that took up space. Who thought it was a good idea to give Dopey a speaking voice? He was the heart of innocence in the original. His silence said everything. Giving him a voice stripped away what made him lovable in the first place. Then there's the love story, or lack thereof. Rachel Zegler had the nerve to say that the prince in the original was a stalker. But in this live-action version, this new love interest is following her around so much he looks like the stalker. It's awkward, weird, like she says, unnatural, creepy. And somehow they still made her look like she was following him half the time. The dynamic is off and uncomfortable. Let's talk about the plot holes. The queen disappears after breaking the mirror? That's it? What even was that? Then Snow White somehow ends up in control of the kingdom and throws a white party, which visually looks like a wedding. But of course it's not, because of feminism. So we get a weirdly somber bride of one moment celebrated by a bunch of extras who feel like set dressings. There's no payoff, no clarity, just confusion and glitter. The bigger problem? We are living in a time where creativity has flatlined. People are so consumed by political correctness and performance activism that they've forgotten how to imagine. Everyone wants to let AI do the work. But God gave you a brain for a reason. Yes, ChatGPT is a tool. I know, I use it all the time. But it's not a replacement for human thought. The irony is that we keep producing AI-generated content. But if you strip away every machine and every algorithm, your only fallback is your mind. And right now, the entertainment industry is proving how underused that mind has become. There's a massive deficit in real writers, real visionaries, real magic makers. Walt Disney himself, That man was imagination. He was set apart, consecrated even. He didn't just think outside the box, he lived outside of it. The man went bankrupt multiple times, took risks no one would dare take today, all because he believed so vividly in what he was creating and who he was created to be. He saw the unseen. He dreamed in ways the rest of us couldn't. But now, Disney's run by executives, not dreamers. They've turned it into a soulless machine chasing money instead of magic. They don't understand their audience anymore because they've locked themselves inside a creative prison. And you can't connect to people's hearts when you're too afraid to color outside the lines. So yes, Snow White was a disaster. And pulling the plug on Tangled was probably the smartest decision they've made in a while. It sucks for whoever was cast, but after this train wreck, it would have tanked too. Rachel Zegler didn't help things either. Her arrogance, her ungratefulness, she sabotaged the whole project before the trailer even dropped. In the end, Disney lost the one thing that made them special: passion. The passion to create wonder, the passion to tell stories, the passion to take us somewhere new. Until they find that again, every live action remake will keep flopping harder than the last, because people don't want political parables. They want to dream. And the sad truth is, Disney forgot how. This is the Faceless Helpmeet. If this spoke to you, hit the like button. If you want more truth without the filters, subscribe and turn on notifications. We don't perform here, we heal. Thanks for being part of something real.